Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure, see. And after several nights, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. If you awaken from this illusion, and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself.
I want to see if you guys have noticed. Sorry about that. If you guys have noticed the transition in rhetoric that we're kind of seeing, or at least I know I'm seeing it. I can't speak for everybody, but you notice how after the Parkland shooting, right, you had these group of expert teenagers that knew everything about guns and knew everything about the NRA and knew everything about politics, were getting up on mainstream media. Idiots like David Hogg, who changed his story like 3 times about how the thing went down. You don't hear from him anymore. All we see now, I mean, he does a couple of interviews on CNN. Nobody really pays attention. CNN's losing ratings left and right. Other than that, all you really catch are little memes on Facebook. You don't hear about it. The March for Our Lives suddenly turned into a women's march. It's like they swept the gun control rhetoric under the rug to distract us with stupid crap, that doesn't even really make any sense, like the Syrians, the gassing in Syria, which video evidence is coming out that was a staged event. Now we're just left up to speculation as to who's responsible for it. Me personally, I don't believe it was Assad. It didn't make any sense to me. And then you got the Democrats over there saying, oh, well, the only reason why he launched, this is what I don't get about the alt-left. First, they were for it. They wanted a war. Then, after Trump struck and sent a few missiles in there and bombed a few targets, now they're suddenly against it. Now they're coming out and saying ridiculous things like, oh, well, he only did that to distract the American population from his affair with Stormy Daniels. Are you out of your mind? Are you really going to sit there and tell me that Trump put us on the verge of war with Russia, complete destabilization of that entire region to cover up an affair he had with a porn star? No, I think not. But I'm just curious as to where all this rhetoric has gone. It doesn't seem to exist anymore. And that should concern you. That should concern a lot of people, because anytime, they do stuff like this, stuff that's important, mind you, they distract you with something else. It's like we're in an information warfare, people. The rulers of this planet, and I am gonna stress that, because like it or not, we are under an entity that we have no idea. We know a few political figureheads that are involved, like the Rothschilds, the Bilderberg Group, George Soros, all these people that fund these terrorist organizations, the people that actually run both the Republicans and the Democrats, who fund both sides of every war, who control the food, who poison the vaccines, controls the money, changes legislations, totally dominate our lives at every which turn. And here's the kicker about it. Most people don't even know. They don't even see it. They don't believe it. They go on one level and they say things like, well, our government would never do anything like that. Or, it would never happen. We can't, they would never come after our guns. Not our government. Well, folks, I really hate to tell you this, but who do you think funds our government? Who do you think the government gets its funds from? Is it solely the taxpayers? No, absolutely not. What you have to understand is the Federal Reserve, they're the ones that print the money. They're the ones that distribute the money. And every dollar bill that you have in your pocket represents the debt of somebody else. It's not wealth. Our money is absolutely meaningless. It's absolutely worthless. It's pieces of government mint paper with some cool little Illuminati designs on it. That's all it is. Ultimately, that's all it is. And sadly, it's become the god of a lot of people in this country. or all over the world, mind you, I should say. So, here's my thing. You know, you take a trip back in time. You go back to where Hillary Clinton was supposed to testify before Congress. You had Trey Gowdy up there just waiting to get her up on the stand, just waiting to get her there. And then, lo and behold, on the very same night, a shooting happened in Dallas, Texas. Now, I'm not saying that that was orchestrated, of course, to prohibit, because I don't think a shooting in Texas would prohibit Congress to interviewing a known criminal. I will, however, say that it was the media's agenda to distract us from that point and put us on another. Because from the time it took for me to go to the store to get snacks and popcorn, because I couldn't wait, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait to see her get burned. I come back. Every major news organization, including local, was just dominated with breaking. Mass shooting in Dallas. Now, am I saying it didn't happen? No, absolutely not. I'm not saying it didn't happen. But I am saying that the media, who, between media and celebrities, I don't think people understand that they rule your lives. They totally dominate you. And they use social media to do it. It's insane. They put out rhetoric all the time. They put out fake news articles. You got all these little basement dwellers that actually write a blog and title it somenews.com or whatever, write a fake story. A lot of them can't even spell. And before a person actually reads the article, they just hit that share button with an emoji in it. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had to go and break people's hearts and say, look, I'm sorry, but this information is inaccurate. It's fake. No, it's not. It's real. How do you know it's real? What kind of editor cannot spell? or put punctuation and things like that in proper places. I mean, what kind of editor of a professional news source cannot do that? It's insane. But Facebook has become the kingpin. The kingpin of falsity, man. It's totally inaccurate. It's a lie. Democrats, you guys are the biggest crybabies, I swear to God. The biggest crybabies I have ever had the misfortune of encountering. Every time I debate you with logic, reason, and proof, you'll still stand there and say it's some kind of conspiracy, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. Hillary Clinton was an angel. She wasn't convicted. Well, that's because people like Hillary Clinton have diplomatic immunity. You probably will not in any near future see her. Now, I keep hearing about all these indictments they got on her, but will she go to jail? I doubt it. People like that don't go to jail. People like that are in big positions of power like she is. She's connected to the deep state. She's not going to go to jail. All these political pedophiles, these highly prolific figures out there that are getting busted with child porn and things like that, they're getting minimum sentences. Anthony Weiner signed for 2 years. 2 years, people. If that had been anybody else, they'd have thrown the book of justice at him. But the scales of justice does not tip in favor of the law-abiding citizen. It tips in favor of the money. The people that have the money. That's what it all boils down to. There is no justice system anymore. Not for us anyway. So, here's my thing. Everything that I'm telling you right now is irrefutable. It's not a conspiracy theory. I have, and a lot of people know this. A lot of people that have actually taken the time to do the extensive research, to track people, to follow the money, to understand agenda, Why would we do this? Why would we do that? It's just hilarious how everybody reacts on emotion. And that's dangerous, because when you have a shooting that takes place and a few kids got killed, what do? Immediately they try to pass legislations, all in their feelings, all heartbroken, all angry. They want to pass legislative law that's going to affect the United States. And the way they've been trying to go about it, it's not in a positive way. You're talking about disarming domestic population because you think it's going to stop violence somehow. And that's Democrats. That's Democrats for you. That's the mind of a Democrat. Oh, well, let's just ban the guns and then there won't be any more shootings. 10 years later, oh shit, let's ban the knives, because if we ban the knives, there won't be no stabbings. 10 years later, let's ban automobiles, because if we do that, then there won't be no mass runovers by vehicles. 10 years later, let's ban the toothpick, because little Johnny won't have his eyes stuck out anymore. I mean, this is how stupid they are. They're freaking retarded. If you even ride on the fence with these people, there's something wrong with you. There's something not right in your head. You and then the alt left, they're so hypocritical, it's unbelievable. I just can't. I mean, they talking about we're going to fight fascism. Okay. Who are the fascists? Trump supporters. Trump supporters and conservatives are fascists, man. No. The fascists are the ones that want to ban your free speech. Like the Democrats and the alt-left libtards. They want to ban your free speech. It's fascists that want to disarm you. It's fascists that want to make it a law against offending people. Taking your free speech away. Taking your guns away. That's the fascist. And see, this is how brainwashed they are. They're so feeble-minded that they don't even see it. Now, that is the scary thing. I just thank God that there are still a few smart people in this world that do not take everything their college professors tell them. I saw a video where this kid, he was in high school clearly, all right? This kid was debating his teacher, whom, by the way, also claimed to be smarter than the dictionary, as she said in her video, debating whether or not the Vegas shooting was an act of terrorism or whether it was just a shooting. And I found it interesting that Democrats always want to, they always want to politicize an issue. It's all about politics. If someone gets shot, it's about politics. Never mind if the police shoot anybody, that's just, well, it was a bad call, or the guy was in the wrong, but if it's anybody who just gets a gun and starts shooting in the crowd, they have to politicize it. They have to make it an issue. It's like, okay, well, and I'm not saying that we should take it lightly, but the last thing in the world we need to be doing is worrying about banning a tool when there are myriads of other tools out there. But see, they're not talking about that anymore. Everybody's worried about what's going on the other side of the world right now. They're not worried about what's going on here. They kicked that gun control rhetoric under the rug for a reason. Now, I know a lot of you probably read that bill. I can't remember the HR. What was it? 5097 or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, if you saw it and you took the time to read it, basically, it bans every firearm. Basically every firearm. There are hundreds of firearms listed in that ban bill. But where is it? Is it sitting on some congressman's desk somewhere? Are they actually voting on it? What's going on behind the scenes? That's what you have to question. I mean, here's one thing a lot of my listeners know about me. First and foremost, I don't believe anything the government tells me. The government could come out tomorrow and tell me there's a comet hitting the earth. I wouldn't believe it until I saw it. And even then, it wouldn't matter anyway. Like, what's that information going to be used for? What do I care? comet hits the Earth, it's probably not going to end very well. But I wouldn't believe them if they told me. I believe nothing they say. Absolutely nothing. And I think that if there were more people like that in the world, we could get some stuff done. Everybody just follows the narrative, man. The narrative has been set, and everybody just follows it. It's sad, really. And the same people that are following just any old thing that they could find are the same ones that said, well, if your best friend jumped off a cliff, are you going to jump off of it too? Well, we know you would. Because all someone has to do to get your attention is post something that's completely left, completely stupid and pointless, and get a rise out of you. Then you get on Facebook challenging everybody to debate you on a topic you know nothing about. See, this is all a distraction. Everything is a distraction. Consider every news source. You have to understand there are 5 corporations that run all the media. They control every bit of information you get. They add to, they take away. They make an issue out of one thing and they pull it out. Then they add something else to the bunch. It's just keeping you just going from one foot to the next. You don't know what to believe, but you choose a side. Whatever side resonates with you. That's what you're going to go with. And if you're Republican, and they post something about Republicans, you're going to go along with it, whether it's good or bad, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's fake or whatever. Democrats, oh, God. Somebody could make a news article that says Trump got caught peeing on a hotel housekeeper. Completely wrong. It never happened. And immediately it will get about 500,000 views. I mean, from moments before it comes out. It's just insane. People are so, just tied up. They're so consumed. They're just so programmable. Do I find it interesting? I find it very interesting, but above all, I find it sad. I mean, I don't think it's anything to joke about, but it's typical. Because nothing surprises me anymore. People can... nothing surprises me anymore, especially when it comes to people. I would just like to know where this gun thing went, because I'm going to keep it alive. Everybody's saying you should stop talking about. Well, here's the thing. They want you to forget. They openly admit that they want you to forget. They don't think we remember. So within a very short period of time, after they've kind of swept everything under the rug, they put new stories out there, then people start debating on why we did that, or why, this, that, or another. You totally lose sight on what the issues are. The real issues are. And within no time flat, you're gone. So, I don't know, man. I'm keeping track. I'm looking into this. I'm not going to let them slip out with this one, because this is a big deal. I understand a lot of you people hate guns and are terrified of guns, and I've talked to so many young people, high school students, they're just terrified of guns. They don't even want one in the house. Like, well, when that intruder comes in, you're going to want one in the house, because you're not going to have anything to defend. And we know you're not going to use a knife, because you're a stop the violence type person altogether. You think guns are the only way to kill people. Well, you're dead wrong in that one. And what gets me is people think the United States could never succumb to that. They think it would never come down to that, simply because we've been given a false narrative that we are the most powerful country. No, we're not the most powerful country. I'm sorry. And we're not the greatest country. I'm sorry. I could give you 100 things wrong with this country right now, right off the top of my head. Am I complaining about it? You know, when people say, well, if you don't like it, just get out. Okay, well, that's a great solution to the problem. Great solution. Just ignore it. It's like, okay, well, just ignore it. Be a patriot. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a patriot. I'm a patriot. You know, I love the land that I live on, and I love the freedoms we used to have, and I love it all, but we've turned into an authoritarian police state. Totalitarian government. I mean, just look around you. You don't have to you don't have to have any kind of master's degree. You don't even have to have an associate's degree in anything to see that. Just look around. You ask anybody in the baby boomers if they even recognize this country anymore. No, this country is foreign to them. It's like they woke up on a different planet. And I know this because I've talked to many of them. I've interviewed many of them. This country is nothing what it used to be. We've been invaded. That's all there is to it. This country has been invaded. Liberalism is taking over. We're being dominated by retarded people. Okay, I'm just going to say that because there's no political correctness on my radio show at all. We've been dominated by a myriad of retards. Democrats are retarded as hell. They play off the same thing over and over and over again, and they wonder why they lost, because people that used to support Democrats are now going Republican now because they actually, wow. Just look at every ghetto in the United States. Every ghetto. Everywhere where there is high crime rate. Who runs it? Not the Republicans. Now, I'm not kissing Republicans' ass. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. I actually, you know what? I would consider myself a libertarian if I had to put a label on it. I don't like putting labels on things, but I just believe in freedom, very limited government, the right to bear arms, the right to say what I feel, the right to start a business, the right to grow my own food, the right to harness rainwater if I so choose to, the right to fish, the right to hunt, not pay out the ass for all these licenses and permits and classes and all this stupid crap. That it's not to protect anybody. It's just to make a buck. You want a gun? Fine, you can get one, but you got to go through this class. It's going to cost you about $200 to learn how to do something you already knew how to do. See, I grew up with guns in the house. I grew up in the woods. Me and my dad used to go hunting all the time. Guns have never been a problem. When I was in high school, people in their pickup trucks with gun racks with a 12 gauge would just roll right up, and it never was a problem. You never had SWAT team coming down, helicopters blazing. You never had all that. But now, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It seemed like a pretty important issue about a month or two ago. Now it's, I don't know, it's gone. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you that are liking and sharing this episode around, I wholeheartedly appreciate it. Don't forget, you can download the Spreaker app, follow my channel, be updated when I'm live. You can join the live chat feed, give me your feedback, or you could even be a caller on the show, 325-701-9602. I'm going to end this little session right here, but I will be back at some point, probably this evening, on some more updates that I get. You guys take care and have a blessed night.